I'm going to make an attempt at making a video on this, but we are going to be putting aftermarket white on there. My girlfriend really likes the new white, but at the time of making this video, not even the Nintendo store sells them. You have to buy this aftermarket kit. So I did the other side already, and the only problem I had was I used a little screwdriver to try to pop out the battery terminal because it was kind of in the way, and it just broke apart. So now I gotta buy a new battery for it. But if you do have this problem, after you get it all back together, it still works as long as it's plugged into the controller or into the main device. If you take it off because you want to play while it's on the TV, it won't work. So in the meantime, while that battery's coming in, you gotta wait. So this is going to be the harder controller because I hope everything shows up in this. It's so hard. I almost need a camera on the end of my fingers. There's so many little stuff. This side is going to be a bit harder because it's got a board right there. I got to not break the battery because they're $13 a piece, and it has this sensor down here. The other one did not have all that, so I decided I'll do the harder one attempt for the video. You also got to change this board in the middle unless you want to keep whatever color this is. When it shuts in between, see that red that's right there? When you put the new one in, it'll be black or whatever color you're going with. So here we go. I took off the kit will be in the description below. The white one that I bought comes with everything you need, including a screwdriver, which I'm using the black one already. Took off the 4 screws and then realized I was supposed to be making a video. I use a magnet. That way I can put the screws in and take them out easy. I guess if you're really good with your hands and you got good eyes, you wouldn't need what I have, but I got big old fat fingers. So I don't know why I just magnetized that one. Put the silver one in. It does take 2 different screwdrivers supplied in the kit. I just like them to be magnetic. Okay. Hopefully it all shows up in the camera because I'm not doing much editing on this. A little silver screw came out of there. There is 3 different types of screws that I found in this. Make sure you take that button out right there. That's the button that, I don't even know if I'm in the camera. That's the button for the release. I had a problem with it going back in there. There is a correct way it goes in. If you get it in a hole. There's this little nub that comes out on it. I don't know if you guys can see that. But you gotta put that nub facing out or into the center. I'm so shaky. Glad I gave up phone repair because I don't think I could do it anymore. There, the nub is facing inward. If you don't do that, it will not push. Actually, it'll already be pushed in because I did the other side wrong and then fixed it. Put that like that. How are you guys doing on the camera? Okay, I'm going to take this off. This board. It feeds in a little journal clear around. Just going to put it like that. The other side didn't have that. There is sticky tape on the battery. Hopefully I don't break this battery. And I'm going to shove this screwdriver way down in there and then pry it out. That battery just don't like me. Now I've already looked at the other side and that's how it comes out. It just pulls out. It only pulls out on the end. No, it pulls out like you would think. Oh, I just broke the whole terminal. Does this thing still work? How do you turn this one on? That still works. let's just leave the battery in there then. When I looked up new ones, which I'm going to go look right now. When I looked up new ones, yeah, it comes out the exact way I'm trying to take it out. Here. See, it comes out like that. It just slides out. Well, I can't get these things to slide out. So, caution. Okay, take out these screws holding this battery tray in. Need it to be magnetized again. This side's also different with its screws. The other side had screws going through here. This one must be like the master or something. There was a screw there. There's one down here. Make sure you don't put these in before you put this board back in. This red board. Or you will have to take them back out. My fingers are probably in the way, but I'm just removing this without breaking anything. Okay, gonna remove this. Watch out, when you remove this, there's a spring that goes that way, but the kit also comes with an extra one. If a spring goes flying, that's where it goes. It goes right into that little socket there. And when you push it in, you just push it in a little bit, and that holds, kinda holds it in. It don't do very good. Okay. I'd rather have the battery unhooked, but I didn't want to do that. So we will just keep tearing into it. There's a screw right here. It's weird, on this side these screws don't go clear through this board right here, but on the other side they do. Now when you pull up the thumbstick, there is this piece of something, I guess I would call it, that stops you from just yanking it right out. I'm gonna pull this thing out. It has a little foam around it. I think it's the vibrators, the vibrating feature. So it's going to have stuff around it so it ain't vibrating against plastic and making an awful sound. Got that out. It had a little bit of tape on it. I'm gonna go ahead and pull this sensor out of the bottom. It has a cord cable going underneath it. See that little black right there? And then I'm just going to pull all this up, out, off. Hopefully I got everything. Try not to touch terminals because the battery is still on it, unless you manage to unplug it. Mine did not want unplugged. Oh, there's the thumbstick being a butt again. There's this piece of black. There it goes. Come on out. What the heck is that? That one on the other one? Oh, it's glued. There we go. Now that just comes out. I finally got them to fall in, because I just had them lined up wrong. And that goes on there. Kind of just pushes on a little bit. Oh, I got it on backwards. There we go. There, it pushes on there a little bit. Use the other side to prop that up. Got the plus button up here. It's not just this little thing. You have to get the plus button plastic bit out. And then drop it back in there. It also goes in there with a notch at the bottom and a notch at the top, if you can see that. And we're going to put that little piece of rubber on there, which is very important because this actually activates the button. So if you rip or tear or lose one of these, you're out of luck, because the kit does not come with that. Okay, now we got a black piece that I'm going to be popping off of here. Pop that off there. I don't really know what that does. So we have a see-through one. It must light up. It's your home button. Make sure you put your home button facing up. Pretty sure that's how it was. I don't know if you guys can even see that. No, you can't. Put the home button facing up. Putting the little rubber back on. Feels nice and good. This one's starting to come out again. Now we have this little piece right here. It's only glued on. And I don't know how important it is to some people, but to me, if it's on there for a beautification reason, because I can't see any functionality. I think it makes it so you don't see into the controller when you have it moved all the way in one direction with the thumbstick. So I'm going to put that on there. Just going to use the glue that it had on there to kind of push it down. I think once everything's together, it's going to keep that down. But this is a little bit smaller than what this hole is, so that's what was giving you a problem when you were pulling it out. So we have completely gutted both sides. Well, just this side, this and the one that held the battery. I'll put that to the side. And there is the back cover, and the battery one is gutted. Now we got to put it back together and not have this stuff fall apart. The easy part, isn't it? Okay, so the battery compartment is not gutted yet. I lied. We're going to put that back in there. That was glued in with its own glue. Hopefully it's got some of that glue still left on there. Just falls into place. We're going to flip this, flip it, and make a total mess. Trying to stick that thumbstick through. There we go. Thumbstick first, then this back piece. I'm going to stick the battery came out. Wow, look. Came out like it was not supposed to. It broke off the things. So I'm going to put this totally back together. But when you guys do this, make sure you do not break them two right there. You see that? I tried to pull it out of there. See, it will pull out of there now. That ticks me off. So this is a cradle. I'll show you guys. This is a cradle that's around here, and this pulls straight out. You don't tip it up because these prongs go straight. And instead it broke the prongs right off the board. And I don't have a soldering gun that small. So that's junk now too, along with my other battery. I was looking at this, I was like, where's the battery? And where's the prongs that it goes into? Because it pulled it out so flush. Okay, so I'm going to put this back in here. It should still work. It's just going to work on a mode where it has to be plugged in to work. Okay, so we lost that little button. I'm going to put that button back in there. Yeah, it's got to be docked. Or not docked. It has to handheld mode only. Okay, got that button in there. I'm going to go ahead and put this side on. Now that we're not messing with the battery. The battery made this kind of hard. Put that like that. Push that down in there. And you're only putting that screw in. There we go. And then if you push on this, it should be pretty free. Don't push it too much, because really all this stuff is designed to be pushed once it's together, and that scared the shit out of me. Now there's 2 springs on this, one right there and one right here. You also have backup springs in this kit, but the way this pops off is you just pry it up, and I'll show you guys how it clips on after I get it off. Actually, let's put this back together first. Okay, that way none of these buttons fall out. I'll push them real quick just to make sure. Plus button's kind of a pain to push. And the joystick. Okay, so let's put, this uses the greenish screws, I guess. Greenish screws. Green screws. I can't remember what screws all do what. Don't put one in this right here, because that's where this goes once we get all this back together. This is going to flip around, and it's going to go right into them, one of the screws I just put in. Do not put in this screw or this screw that I just put in. That battery board is going to be screwing into there. Screws around, and then bam, right there. I think it uses... Okay. So there's no screws down here. This bottom sensor here uses the case. So we just gotta tear this apart. And we'll put it in just to make sure everything's a go. We just gotta pop this out of here. The springs won't go flying. They're not really under a load. Well, they'll go flying if you make a mess. See? Now we have some more buttons down here. These buttons can't get mixed up, they only can go in one way, but I'm going to go ahead and put this face down and put them in there. Can you see these little notches right here? And there's notch, 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 notch. All them notches are in a different place. See, this one's on the side and this one's down on the corners. You can't get these in here wrong. So if you think you're putting it together wrong, see, that one fit right in there. Now if I tried to put one in the wrong one, it just wouldn't line up. I don't feel like wasting my time showing you guys that. Oh, see, not fitting in there right. And that's one where it goes. What the hey-hoo? Oh, it goes in. That don't even go in like that. What the heck? We'll put in a different one. That one has to go down here then. Nope. That one is not liking its placement. There we go, that one fell in. That's where that one goes. I don't know why it's holding the controller like this. Yeah, the other one's still in there. Yeah, I just got to keep spinning it. Nope. We'll go in this one. Maybe it's confused. No, it won't go in that one. Don't want to go in that one or that one. Let's leave that one out, I guess. Now this one goes right here because I just took it out. Okay, so it does not like to be in there. So let's see what these are. A Y. The Ys they give us are crap. They don't have any lettering on them. I don't like theirs, so I was reusing them. A Y. Does it look the same as this Y? I didn't have them buttons yet. Where'd them buttons go? SR. A Y. The Y is the same exact one as this one. It's gotta go in there. I must be doing something wrong. And this one pops out. Well, I'm gonna pause the video until I get them in. They stayed right where they were, right where they're supposed to go. So the way this clips on is this. I don't know if you guys can see that. Both sides of this have like a little lip that goes in just a little bit. That, as you push it down, these separate and then clip around this part right here. So there's no screw or nothing. You got 2 springs, which you can reuse or use the ones that are in the kit in the description below. They go into these little nipple areas. This little board here unscrews with no problems. It didn't give me any problems on the last one. Okay. And there is the board released. So now we got to put in the new one, which on mine it's going to be black. Face it down, curl it around, and we're going to put in that clicker, but we also need to remember to put in this other one that had a spring in it. So, sorry, my computer is doing some crazy stuff right now. Looking up. My recorder's gone a bit weird. Put that down in there. Eventually I'll find the hoe. There we go, that's on there. So I'm going to take these little things and put it right in there. There is not one on the top part. It just pushes against a flat piece of plastic. No, this one has them. So the other side didn't have nipples on both sides. You know, line them up a little bit and hope that you push them on there good. I don't see this going very well. It went well. Look at that. So now we got to pull that back out. You could do this part first that I'm about to do, but it does not stay in place. The board that we just flipped off keeps this in place. So this is your RTLT, something like that. Remember that little spring? It goes right into that little groove I'll show you in a bit. Okay. So when you put this in, that spring goes into this little groove. This little nipple goes into a groove that's below that, and then you got to make sure this is on the inside of the controller. That black piece right there. This black piece up there should automatically go into the controller. Flip this over, and this holds that on. Doesn't hurt to click it a few times and make sure you got it right. Bottom one's clicking. Top one clicks a little bit louder. Now we put that back screw on. Put these 3 screws in, and then I'm going to check all the buttons. That way I don't have to tear it back apart. 3 screws on this battery tray, and if you had a battery, you'd plug it in at this time with, I normally plug it in, then tighten it with this, push it together. One more screw right here. And at this point, all the buttons should be nice, and guess mine had to pop in a little bit. It's clicky. Once I get that totally together, that will be pressable. Yep, this one pushes down on it somehow. I don't know how they expected that. So when you push it all together, I guess that will keep it from doing that. The board flexes on this side. So now we have this, which I gotta reroute around here, put back into that little hoe. Oh, look at the old battery holder. Okay, it goes right over there. It goes right, route it, goes right in there. So this kit so far fits really well. Okay, that'll all fit as this goes back together. And you push it back together. You hear it kind of click together. Don't know where it's clicking at because I don't think it has any clickers. And now that button is firmed up against all that. Go ahead and go ahead and take these black screws that they give you. I'm going to put one in at a time. Got to switch back over to a different style of bit that they provide in the kit. This bit is a little bit darker. I didn't show you guys tearing it apart quite like I should have, but it's a little bit darker of a bit. Make sure you get it shoved into this thing. I'm going to go ahead and magnetize it. And then put these in. Don't over tighten them. All this is plastic. Do not over tighten. I guess my magnet didn't work. Got that one in it, pulled it together. Make sure all this stuff is still good as you're putting it together. Nothing popped out on you and surprised. Pulling everything together. Now it is an aftermarket case with no Nintendo logo on it anywhere. So if it doesn't fit perfect, as long as all your buttons and all that stuff work, to be aftermarket, you can't just copy the original. At least back in the day. See how that kind of fits outward a little bit? It's a little bit bulkier. And then right here, it's kind of flawed. That's probably where they made it a little bit different. That way they don't get sued for copying the controller. Now because my battery is not in there, it is not going to power on. Them lights won't work on this side. But if I bring over my switch, plug this right in, this one doesn't like it. Oh, there it clicked. Did you hear it click in? Well, none of the buttons are working on that side. So the other one had no problem with being disconnected with no battery. Oh, there it's working. See, there it's working. I guess I didn't have the connection good enough. There it's working. Plus sign works. B just worked. A just worked. B works again. I don't know if you guys can hear that. And then the home button. And this will go up, down, right, left. And then these should make a ding dong again. There you go. I'm gonna unplug it, plug it back in, just to show you it still works. There you go. It's just not going to be wireless unless you get the new battery installed, which made my video awful. Hopefully this helps somebody. Hopefully it helps people that realize it is a bigger task than it could be. But if you break the battery, you're all right. It's a little bit overwhelming, but you can do it. Thanks for watching.